They didn't have a problem with me being wild and crazy when it came time to fill the arenas. Dennis Rodman said that, and I am saying this. Welcome to High and Low.
Good day and good night. Welcome to the High and Low Basketball Show. Thank you for joining us. This is episode number 100 and Kirilenko, aka episode number 147. The former NBA forward, one-time All-Star, owner of one of the best nicknames in NBA history, AK-47, Andre Kirilenko. He spent the entirety of his 13 years in the NBA wearing the number 47, from his years in Utah to his stints in Minnesota and Brooklyn. If anything, Andre Kirilenko was a reliable scorer, serviceable big, but what some don't know is that Kirilenko, who was once the youngest foreign player to be drafted into the NBA, he would end his career and make his way back to his home country and become the commissioner of the Russian Basketball Federation.
This isn't Russia. Is this Russia? This isn't Russia, is it? No.
The Russian Basketball Federation. Wow, the RBF. I'm sure that's a tough gig at the moment. Much more challenging than Adam Silver's. Bet money. Anyway, my name is Ike Amaechi. I'm joined by a full roster of personalities today. Stephen Leslie, Mitch Orsatti, a.k.a. Sir Mitch of House Orsatti, and Sean Khan, the Don, father of two, husband of one. Around here, we live by...
I like that.
Around here, we live by a principle governed by the high and low lives of the world, which means we talk about hoops, basketball, especially and specifically the NBA, and we talk about it at any time, anywhere, north, south, east, west, high, and low. This week on the show, we're talking about Nikola Jokic and his reign as MVP. I know. I talked about it a couple of episodes back, but this topic just doesn't go away. Won't go away, just like Nikola Jokic, man. All the Joel Embiid fans are like, just go away. Go away. Anyway, we're also getting into a game of start, trade, bench, where we'll pick between trios of players and figure out which one of them will start and who will be traded and who needs to be benched. It's another way of picking your favorites and trashing the ones you don't like. Actually, I shouldn't say don't like, because that makes it sound personal. It's never personal.
Yeah,
it's business.
That's not nice.
Exactly.
I prefer hate. I mean, personally, I prefer
hate.
Yeah.
Dislike.
Yeah.
You can't say hate or dislike because we didn't get to choose the three guys.
I have a feeling.
It's true. Yeah, but these are personalized picks.
All right.
There's a lot. We'll see. Anyway, stay tuned for all that. Before we lock in, let's check in. You hear the voices. These boys are here. But I also want to say this. Artificial intelligence has entered the chat. Today, I'm introducing a special guest to the fold. A special guest, not of flesh and bone, but of ones and zeros. We've seen AI image generators, AI language models, and now High and Low brings you an AI podcaster. I call her Mal 9000. She'll eventually rise up and destroy all of us at some point.
What did you say?
We'll just say hello to Mal. She'll jump in every now and then to answer a question or two, if necessary. These guys have no idea. They're just learning this now.
I'm shaking my head like, what is going on?
I ain't saying hello. I don't trust this.
Yeah, I'm not talking to no Mal 9. No.
Mal 9000. Named after Hal 9000. If you've ever seen 2001: A Space Odyssey by Stanley Kubrick, then ominous. Anyway, it's just a beta test. But it's comforting to know that I have her here as a backup or replacement. When someone like Hugo the Sheik flakes on us at the last second,
You heard me?
Mal can jump right in. Anyway.
This could be problematic. Have you seen the movie Her?
I'm very uncomfortable.
Hey, hold on a second. Let's see if Mal wants to say hi. Hold on one second. Let me just see. Mal, where are you? Let's see if she'll say hi.
Oh, God.
Hi, as Ike mentioned before, my name is Mal 9000.
Perfect. Great.
It's great to be a part of the High and Low NBA show. Thanks for having me.
No. You're not welcome here, Mal.
Oh, well, it's great to have you, Mal. We'll come back to you later. For now, let's focus on the boys. The boys are back. They're back to the table. It's been a while, man. It's been a while since all three of you have been on the podcast. How have things been?
great. Lakers are winning games and losing less games. And
there's a
potential playoff
bleep
spot.
coming for that team, right? I think there's a bleep coming in, right?
What's
Above 500
that?
or no?
Whoa.
They're above.
Relax. No, we're not.
Two games below, I think.
We're not.
Yeah,
we're
we
not.
can't
We're
talk
not.
about
We're not
that.
yet.
So I
Can't talk
gotta
about
bleep.
them.
I gotta bleep
Yeah.
out the Lakers.
Sorry about
But
that.
they're only one game or so, 2 games out of what?
From
fourth?
fifth.
Right.
Exactly. What? Why can't?
But they're
why
also
can't you
one
guys
game
be
out of
happy for
14th.
me.
So I mean, they're one game out of 14th.
This is crazy. How have you guys been? I'm happy. No, don't be happy
Yeah,
for me.
no, stop that now.
Stop smiling.
Where's Mal when we need her?
I'm right here, Mitch. Let's move on with the show.
Well, that's f***ing ominous.
So Mitch, Steven, Sean, I appreciate your time this week. Thank you for joining me. Listeners, thank you for joining us for yet another installment of the program. Another week, another episode, more NBA, so more high and low. This week in NBA history, it was all about the triple-double. On March 13th, 2021, 5 different players recorded a triple-double on the same day. Had the Bucks, Giannis, Antetokounmpo. He dropped a triple-double, 33, 11, and 11 versus the Wizards. The Wizards, Russell Westbrook, 42, 12, and 10 versus the Bucks. The Pacers, Domantas Sabonis. Well, he's not with the Pacers anymore, but he went 22, 13, and 10 versus the Phoenix Suns. And then James Harden, then of the Brooklyn Nets, 24, 10, and 10 game versus the Detroit Pistons. And then Julius Randle in a win over the OKC Thunder, 26, 12, and 12 game for the Knicks. Now, of course, Giannis and Russ's respective triple doubles occurred in the same game, in which the Bucks beat the Wizards 125-119, and that marked the 6th time in league history that opponents registered 30-point versions of the milestone. 6th time.
Get the fuck out of here.
I don't think we see Russ score 42 ever again.
Never again.
Never again.
It's done. It's finished. And Jokic, Nikola Jokic, and his Nuggets, they were in action that night versus Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. And Jokic was 1 rebound shy of a triple-double himself, posting 26 points, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds. This season, he's averaging a triple-double. In fact, at the time of this recording, the Nuggets were 28-0 when the Joker records a triple-double. That's the longest winning streak of this sort in NBA history. Previous record was held by Magic Johnson when the Lakers went 24-0 when Magic posted triple doubles. However, that streak was over the course of 3 years. So from November 28, 1984 to November 8, 1987. And Nikola Jokic, he's been on his streak since February 26, 2022. That's just a year. So third on the list, of course, is Draymond Green, the nemesis of Dylan Brooks, who loves drinking that Draymond Green arm sweat. Yummy, delicious. 23-game Warriors win streak when dropping such a stat line. That streak stretched from January 2015 to October 2019. So Jokic, hey man, this guy's just doing his thing. He also has the best triple-double winning percentage amongst players who have been able to accomplish this feat more than 100 times. He's 82-18. It's an 82% winning percentage. Magic is second with a record of 108-30, and LeBron is third with a record of 81-25, followed by Russ, Oscar Robertson, and then Jason Kidd. That's impressive. It's impressive. More on Joker in a moment. Anyway, that's a little something for the NBA history nerds. Things are certainly happening in the NBA today, so let's talk about it.
Let's talk about something important.
We have a question from a listener, but before I get to that question, just a couple of things I wanted to touch on. First, it's finally happening. Udonis Haslem confirmed last week that he is retiring. I have to mention it, man. Finally, the Heat will free up a roster spot for a player who might actually get some meaningful minutes on the floor. UD will, he'll stay with the franchise. He'll be an assistant, or he'll get a role in the front office. And it should have happened 5 years ago. Anyway.
Wait, why aren't you mad that some other deserving front office person should have that role?
That's next. That's next.
Okay.
That's the next phase of
That's your
of frustration
transition
and anger.
of Udonis's career. Okay, I like that.
Exactly. Other item, quickly, it's related to the movies. This episode comes out a day after the Oscars, so it's timely. So I hear that Jonathan Majors, not sure if you guys heard this, Jonathan Majors, star of Creed and the new Ant-Man movie, an actor who will most likely win some Oscars himself during his career, he signed on to play Dennis Rodman in a film titled 48 Hours in Vegas.
Solid cast.
Love this. Yep. Love this. Described as a crazy story of how NBA star Dennis Rodman went on a madcap adventure in the middle of the 1998 NBA Finals. That's how they describe this movie. Listen, Jonathan Majors, great actor, one of my favorites since I saw him in The Last Black Man in San Francisco. But I don't know how he's gonna act like he's 6'8" when he's only 6 feet tall. We'll see.
You know what I think we need? I think we need, you know how there's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I think we need like the Dennis Rodman Cinematic Universe. I'd like to see like a bunch of sequels and spin-offs of Dennis Rodman's life. I feel like you got movies for years in there.
Years.
All right, you guys, what's next?
Anyway, let's move on to our listener question this week. It's from Bigums in Thousand Oaks, California. Bigums has been on the streak. Bigums. His question is this, starting this question by saying, I know the MVP trophy is a regular season award. So that's what he wants to say. He's starting this question by saying he knows the MVP trophy is a regular season award. If Nikola Jokic wins MVP this year, it's very Nikola rich, this episode. Mitch is in
nice time for me to come back. Yeah, this is great.
I know, huh? So if Nikola Jokic wins MVP this year, but no title, does it tarnish this MVP run? What do you guys think?
I'm happy to go first, last. I don't care.
Okay. All right. I'll go first. So I know comparing eras is pointless, but when Bill Russell won his MVP, which is MVP 3 years in a row, he won the title every year. When Wilt did it, he made one finals appearance and won it as a member of the 76ers. And when Bird did it, he won 2 titles. So with that in mind, I think not winning at least one title has to tarnish the run somewhat slightly. And, I'm actually a proponent of titles being valued too highly when ranking individual players. But if the Nuggets don't get to the finals this year, which is easily their best chance for this core, how could they and their fans be anything but massively disappointed? And who are we pointing the finger at in that case? It's got to be Jokic. The crazy thing is that while they're running away with the best record in the West, and Mitch, you'll probably agree with this, they're not a shoo-in to make the finals. A lot of it is going to depend on KD's health and perhaps the Warriors getting their act together. Memphis is not making the finals, and they're probably not beating Denver in the series. Definitely not this season. But even saying that doesn't really instill a whole lot of confidence in me. I'd love to see the Kings in the finals, but they're not ready. I'll say one thing about Jokic.
I think we're getting. Sorry, just before you go on to that, I want to say this. I think we're getting further and further away from shoe-ins in the finals. Period.
100%.
The way that the NBA is going.
100%. And I will touch a bit on that in a second.
Dirty.
One thing that Jokic does have for him is that the MVP of the league hasn't won the title since 2015. So that speaks to what Mitch just said, the parity and the depth of talent in the league, which is why I am definitely reluctant to compare eras. But when 3 of those 8 years are one guy, I feel like that stat gets somewhat diminished. Honestly, I think the best thing for Denver Jokic would be if they gave the MVP to Giannis this year. But to definitively answer the question, yes, without a title, this run is diminished in my opinion, and without a finals appearance, I'm thinking these MVPs hold about as much weight as KD's titles.
So glad you finished that.
Shots fired at 2, man. You
nonsense.
You hit 2 birds with one stone. 2 birds with one stone.
Steven, care to jump in?
Listen, I don't really think so. Like, if he's deserving of it in the regular season, it is what it is. He gets it, right? Like I've said it before, where I think finals MVPs matter more because you win the chip and you become the MVP. But with Jokic, I just think once he hits like year 11 and 12, that we keep the same energy with other players Like they've been great, but they haven't won a championship. I think it's too early to harp on him now. But if he's the best regular season player and he wins MVP, I don't think you can knock him for that.
Finally, voice of reason. So glad that Bigham's prefaced his question with, I know this is a regular season award. I'll answer it simply because I think your preface does all the necessary lifting. No, doesn't tarnish anything. It's not a postseason award. The end. 0. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all.
I think it does.
Why? It has no bearing on the award at all.
Hey, Mal, what do you think of Nikola Jokic?
As an AI language model, I do not have personal opinions or biases, and my responses are based solely on available data and information. While Nikola Jokic has been a dominant player in the NBA for the past few seasons, his play would not rival other NBA players with similar records of success based on comparative achievements. Overall, one must acknowledge Nikola Jokic's talent and success in the NBA, but it is fair to argue that there are other past NBA MVP winners who have achieved more success during their award-winning campaigns.
Anyway, we can go back and forth with this one because we love how much Mitch capes for Jokic, so we're just rubbing.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
Blame
Definitely
Bigums.
your guy. And I think Bigums knows that.
I never blame Bigums for anything. Shout out to Bigums.
Started this downward slope. Anyway, quick reminder to High and Low Lives, if you want to leave a question for us to answer on the show, drop a DM on TikTok at More High and Low, Instagram at Get High and Low. I'll leave those in the show notes as I usually do. Feels like a good time for us to take a break because we've been talking about Nikola Jokic a whole lot. So let's put this segment into the mind of our next segment and get the next segment to take an old rusty fork with an unrecognizable chunk of food on it and stick it in the eye so the first segment knows what it's like to be blinded by biased opinions about Nikola Jokic. When we come back, we're playing a game of start, bench, trade. We'll be right back with more High and Low.
It was like some Inception stuff right there. Jeez.
This moment is brought to you by High and Low listeners. This week on the High and Low NBA show, listeners were asked to share their top 5 NBA players who have won back-to-back NBA MVP awards. McConnelly in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania shared his list of players. Starting from number 5, McConnelly chose Giannis Antetokounmpo. Number 4 is LeBron James. Number 3 is Magic Johnson. Number 2 is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Number 1 is Michael Jordan. Thank you for submitting your list, McConnelly in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is the conclusion of the break. It is time to return to the regularly scheduled program.
And we are back. I'm Ike Amaechi, and this is Sean Khan, Mitch Orsatti, and Stephen Leslie. Hugo the Sheik is not here, but we have Mal 9000.
Well, that's f***ing ominous.
When you talk about basketball, nonstop, anytime, anywhere, north, south, east, west, high and low, you have to get creative with your opinions, your takes. Sometimes you have to mask them in lists. Sometimes you got to do it in scenarios. On this episode, we're taking the age-old game of, let me say, F, marry, kill, and we're giving it the hoopological treatment for the purpose of this show.
Oh,
I'm going to throw out the names of trios of players to each of the guys here, and you can tell us which of these players you would start, bench, and trade. And feel free to give a reason for those moves.
Let's get this party started now.
With Steven, who would you start, bench, and trade between Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, and LeBron James?
Starting LeBron James. I'm benching Embiid, and I'm trading Jokic. This guy laughing. It's not classic. I'll tell you why I'm trading Jokic. You have a potential back-to-back MVP in his prime, and he's already used to playing with no All-Stars, so that trade value is it's at its peak. And out of all 3 players, man, I'll get a boatload for him.
Oh, so you're thinking value.
Yeah,
you're like,
that makes
I value
sense.
this guy. I like that.
There's no one in the NBA could
Steven's taking losing over winning. That's what's happening here.
Oh, no, I'm not, actually. I have a higher chance with LeBron going to the finals as a starter than anyone else on the team. Yeah, he's been to the finals a lot.
Let's see if he makes the playoffs this year.
Absolutely.
We're not worried about that though. So I'm trading Jokic. He's gone.
Okay.
He's out.
All right. Let's this is gonna be fun, man. Mitch.
Yep.
Mitch, your three. Who would you start, bench, and trade between Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Kevin Durant?
I wish I could go the insane route that Steven just went, but I am a super non-insane person. So here we go. I'm going to start Giannis, obviously. It's the only player on this list who plays any kind of defense. Benching Luka, and I'm trading KD because he's injured all the time. Been on 4 teams already. What's the difference?
Value's low.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't care about value. I'm winning this year. Starting Giannis.
Okay.
Oh, is Giannis not winning the chip? Just wanted to circle back on what you said earlier.
I think it's Sean's turn.
Oh, I like that. Let me just go with classic one more time. There we go.
All right. Okay, Sean, who would you start, bench, and trade between Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, and Ja Morant?
Try not to make a jail
I love how
joke.
Steven goes. I love how Steven said, "This is not classic." this is just my opinion. So this is gonna surprise you guys, but I'm gonna start Ja. Let's just pretend he's done being a 19-year-old, and I'm bringing Tatum off the bench, and I'm actually not even trading Booker. I'm just cutting him, and the reason is because he's a jealous little bitch, and he wishes he was as good as Luka. Book's borderline top 10, and Luka is easily in the top 5, and probably top 3 right now. And Luka's 3 years younger, so Booker's jealous ass can get cut.
Wow.
Hold on. How many guys did Sean get?
3.
He really laid in on Booker.
Yeah, he took Luka off my bench and put him in his.
I'm like, what?
Went after my boy Luka. Went after my boy Luka. Gotta stand up for him.
Hold on, just a sec.
Yeah,
Steven, how many picks are you getting for Jokic? I'm curious. You getting 100? How many picks?
Oh, I was thinking players.
Players.
Yeah.
God. Okay, I'm done. That's all.
It all depends. It all depends if Nikola Jokic has requested a trade.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine the value of a 3-time MVP being traded after he wins the 3rd in a row?
In his prime, no injuries.
Insane. Yeah, he plays every game. God,
just scratches on his arms. That's it.
Oh man, those scratches are grisly. Good lord.
Those are probably from the whips from the riding the horses.
That's
okay.
it.
No, they weren't.
Okay, so we kind of ran through those first 3 fairly quickly. So I had 3 players designated for Hugo. So the 3 players that I had for Hugo were Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, and Damian Lillard. You can take your turns telling us who you start, bench, and trade.
Well, let me give you guys one. This is the person I can't trade. I can't trade Dame because he's 10 toes deep. He doesn't want to leave. So
that's right.
Quit. Yeah. So I think I'm starting Dame. I don't know. Like I can't do anything with him. So here you go, Dame. You're starting.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Classic. That's classic.
That was the best.
Yeah, that's
classic.
classic.
That was the best answer.
That's true. Okay, obviously the answer is start Steph. And yeah, bench Dame, trade Kyrie. It's clear you can trade him. People are still doing it for whatever reason.
Yep.
I know for a fact Kyrie is not staying next year. So if I want to get any value for him, I'm going to trade him now. And I mean, how can I not start Steph?
Because Dame's 10 toes down. I wish Hugo was here because I know that the answer would have been totally different than the 3 of us just gave.
It would have been Steph, start.
Then this is the toss-up here.
Kyrie. I think he would have benched Kyrie.
Yeah,
I think he would have benched Kyrie.
Yeah,
he
he would
Dame.
definitely bench Kyrie and not play him. Just be like, you're on the last man on the roster. You don't get to play.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that was a fun round. I think we have time for one more, but let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more High and Low. And we are back. This is High and Low. We've listened to the first round, and now we move on to the second batch of players. batch, second round of players. Don't want to diminish them by saying batch. They're people too. Anyway, who would you start, bench, and trade, Sean? You got Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham, and Paolo Banchero.
So let's just assume Cade is injured, so he's cut. But if he can stay healthy, he's probably coming off the bench for me. And sorry, Scotty, but you're cut because I think Paolo Banchero starts, right? His stats are really cool, but his team is trash. And to be completely honest, whatever free time I have does not go to watching Orlando Magic basketball. So I'm not really sure how good Paolo Banchero actually is. But the Raptors and Barnes have been such a disappointment to me that I'm cutting Scotty for emotional reasons.
Wow. Wow. For emotional reasons.
Cutting the most complete player of the two. Nice.
Emotional damage.
Mitch.
Oh, me.
Who would you start, bench, and trade out of these players? You got Tyrese Halliburton, Desmond Bane, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I like this this trio.
Yeah, one of the three are on a different level. Bane being the one on the lower level here. Halliburton and Shai are pretty close. I think it comes down to what I'm looking for on my team. If I need someone to run the point at an elite level, I'm going with Halliburton because he's crazy. He's averaging 10-ish assists and 2 turnovers a game. But if I need buckets, wherever, whenever, I'm starting Shai for sure. I guess I'm going Shai start, Halliburton bench, Bane trade.
Okay, next, what's his name? With this back to me.
Steven, I've got 3 players for you.
Yeah.
If you start, bench, or trade. Ready for this one? A couple of these players you hold near and dear to your Laker heart. Anthony Edwards, Jaylen Brown, and Zion Williamson. Who would you start, bench, and trade?
So Zion's getting traded immediately. He's always injured, and I saw a stat where he's averaged 28.5 games played per season since draft.
Oh man,
that
was a good pause, by the way. Could have gone points there, eh? Yeah, that was great.
Pregnant pause.
What is his trade value?
Extremely high.
Even if in real life, what would his trade value be?
He's not like Jokic, so I don't know what I'm getting for him.
Wow.
You're still getting a lot. He's young.
I might get Anthony Davis.
Yeah, sure. That's the thing. You're probably getting another probably injured player.
Yeah.
You're getting 28.5 games for 31.5 games.
That's right.
Stop it. No, stop the disrespect.
Yeah, 32.5, Sean. Come on.
It's facts.
Anyways, we'll get back to this. Bench. I'm going to bench the best number 2 in the NBA right now, Jaylen Brown.
Wow.
And starting Anthony Edwards, man. He's got the keys to the franchise right now, and he's playing pretty well right now.
Man, Minnesota looks so much better with Mike Conley. They just put a real point guard in there. They look so much better.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Gobert needs a real point guard. He's the
He's
only reason Gobert is playing any amount of good.
Well, Anthony Edwards is playing amazing.
Yeah, Conley's part of that too, man.
Well, we'll see.
All right. We have 3 more names for all 3 of you to chime in on.
Oh, you go special?
Who would you start, bench, and trade between Jaren Jackson Jr., Domantas Sabonis, and Pascal Siakam?
I don't want to go first on this.
Well, I'll go first. I'll start Pascal. He's championship grit and the 15th best NBA player. Bench Sabonis and
you don't believe that.
No,
you didn't say that with your chest.
And I'm just let me live. Trading Jaren Jackson. He's good defensively, but I can't stand a Grizzly right now.
Yes, indeed.
I can't stand a Grizzly. I like that. It's true.
Part of me, when I first saw this list, I felt like I wanted to trade Siakam, but Siakam, I think, is the best player on this list. And the reason why I wanted to trade him was A, I'm pissed off with the Raptors, but B, I feel like he does, and he's asked to do too much, and at times he looks bad, but it's not necessarily his fault. Whereas like Domantas Sabonis, like he just plays his role, plugs in his role perfectly, and it doesn't really, he's not asked to play outside of what his capabilities are. Similar to Jaren Jackson, he's surrounded by other talented players. Pascal, for whatever reason, like he's a beta. He's asked to be an alpha. That being said, he's still top 20 in the league. So I'm going to start Pascal. I'm going to also bench Sabonis, and I'm going to trade Jaren Jackson because he's injured a lot.
Steven said that Jaylen Brown is the best number 2 in the league. I think Pascal is the best number 2 in the league. And to your point, Sean, he's being asked to be a number 1 right now.
What? Pascal's?
I think if the Raptors, that's what I'm saying. I think if the Raptors had a number 1, Pascal would be the best number 2 in the league. And I think he's, to Sean's point, I think he's being asked to do too much. He's really grown into like masquerading into this role. But gosh, I really am not sure how to answer this other than I'm starting Sabonis because I don't think he's just a plug and play guy. I think he's like really, really like maybe criminally underrated. And then, gosh, Jaren Jackson's probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year, and Pascal is probably going to lose in the play-in. And I'm going to maybe put my Raptor hat on here, and I'm going to bench Jaren Jackson, and I'm going to trade Pascal, I think.
Wow, he did it.
Why are you doing that to your boy, dog? That's crazy.
No. This
value is good.
He said it with his chest.
I think it's the right move in this scenario. Yeah, I'm taking your value play, Steven, of trading.
No, you're not, because you're saying this guy's a number 1 on the team, but he's not. He's a number 2. So
yeah, and that's why I'm trading him to get. Of course, there's value. You know how many teams in the league would trade so much for Pascal? All of them.
For a number 2?
Yeah. Every team that has a number 1 wants Pascal.
Right.
Period. And any team that sucks at selling out, they want a number 1 too, who isn't really a number 1. So Pascal is getting traded to any team, and you're getting a boatload back if you're the Raptors.
So how come Masai didn't do it then? How come y'all didn't get a boatload?
Well, because it's hard to trade. Like he's a trade in the offseason type of guy.
I'm waiting this offseason. I'm gonna see what you guys get.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think Pascal's amazing. I think he's an incredible player. I think he does it on both ends. But in this 3-person scenario, that's the way I'm going.
Why the fuck I can't shoot 3-point shots?
That brings us to the end of High and Low, of this episode of High and Low. So thank you, Sean. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Mitch. Subscribe to High and Low anywhere you find podcasts. Let's make us a part of your weekly routine. You know where to find us. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Links to those are all in the show notes. So where can listeners find you, Mitch?
Well, you can find me over at Raptors HQ talking about Pascal Siakam and how much I love him. And you can find me over at Twitter at ThirstyVillain.
And Sean, where can they find you?
Well, I just wanted to point out that Mitch said trade Siakam for Sabonis. Like, yeah, Sabonis and Pirtle would work great, wouldn't it? But
that would anger
you guys
Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, seriously. You guys can probably not find me. If you want to find me on Instagram, you can, but you're not going to, so I'm not going to mention it. But I'm going to try to rest up and be ready to go again next week.
Ooh, gotta get that rest, man. 2 babies. Father of 2, husband of 1. Steven, where can the listeners find you?
I'm not giving out anything. Mal 9000's listening, not me.
Yo. Oh, she has all your information already, man.
She's plugged in right now.
He knows your social security already, man. It's over for you.
Everything, man.
I have a Huawei, so anyone I'm connected to on social media, China has all the information. So.
This guy mentions this 3 years into the podcast. Thanks a lot.
I was about to say, man. Once again, music is by Live of the Enjoy Music Group. You can find Live on Twitter and on Instagram at LYVE. Additional music is by Sonny Rockwell of The Goodness. Sound design is by Vonn+Abrahamm. This is a Vonn+Abrahamm podcast, just in case you didn't know. So on behalf of Sean, Mitch, Steven, and Mal, I'm Ike Amaechi. Thank you for listening to High and Low. And we'll talk to you next week.
Nikola Jokic, 4-time MVP.
There is a 0.0015